A city ordinance banning discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity has been struck down by the 1st District Court of Appeals.
The human rights ordinance was approved by the Jacksonville City Council back in 2017, but was challenged by the conservative Liberty Council, which today is claiming victory. On Your Side's Kaylee Tracy explains what the court ruling could mean for Jacksonville.
Valentine's Day 2017, the streets outside City Hall erupted with cheers. City Council voted 12-6 in favor of the human rights ordinance banning discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. 3 years later,
I was definitely disappointed. It's not the kind of news you want to hear, in the afternoon on a Friday in the middle of a global pandemic.
May 1st, 2020, the 1st District Court of Appeals struck down the HRO, the ordinance challenged by Liberty Council. The court said the City Council committed in 2017 to change the law to include sexual orientation and gender identity, but it didn't. As a result, the court said the ordinance was a little more than an empty promise. The legislative director of the Jacksonville Coalition for Equality at the time recognizing the court's ruling.
The 1st District Court of Appeal believes that it should have been written differently, and that's really what matters today. So, yes, I think that it definitely should have been written differently when it was passed and enacted. And I suspect the City Council will have an opportunity to write it again.
The ruling says the ordinance can't be enforced because it was, quote, just an idea. Ideas alone are not enforceable. Liberty Council Assistant Vice President of Legal Affairs issued a statement reading in part, quote, this decision exposes the deception of the HRO authors and sponsors. The fair and honest people of Jacksonville should not be forced to participate in other celebrations of same-sex relationships under threat of fines or loss of their businesses.
I think that it's disappointing for people who really need this law in place, but I don't think they'll be without it for long. We've been talking to our council members, and we are going to keep fighting for this because it's the right thing to do.
Kaylee Tracy, First Coast News, On Your Side.
And according to our news partners at the Florida Times Union, incoming City Council President Tommy Hazouri said the court was, quote, blind to justice. And he said if the city's lawyers decide not to appeal the decision, he wants the council to pass a technical fix to correct what the court said was wrong with the ordinance.